Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much everybody for being viewers. Thank you so much for being subscribers. I want you to know that I greatly appreciate you. Now something highly unusual has happened, and that is the president has indicated that he's not going to sign the bill in its current form. Now, I'm going to actually analyze what the president has said, and we'll be digging deeper into exactly what the president said. Everybody, but here's something that I find really interesting. I want our viewers and subscribers to know that the president criticized several policies of this bill, but he actually didn't criticize the policies of the stimulus bill. I mean, he did talk about the need for larger stimulus checks, but a lot of the policies he criticized were actually part of the omnibus bill. I'm sure the president knows, I'm hoping that the president knows that it was with the blessings of the administration that basically the House and the Senate did a bill that includes both the government omnibus spending and the stimulus package. The government said that the COVID bill contains all sorts of non-COVID related policies, and he's right because many of the policies he talked about are actually related to the omnibus spending bill. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of the things he talked about, were designed to point out the loopholes, the inefficiencies, if you will, the pet projects, if you will, of that are contained within the omnibus spending package. But I'm wondering if that's a reason to, sabotage the whole bill. And keep in mind that the president 10 days ago, through U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, I want our viewers and subscribers to know that 10 days ago, the president, with the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, essentially told basically made an offer to the Democrats, which included $600 stimulus checks. That was the offer from Mnuchin 10 days ago. Now all of a sudden, the president wants to do $2,000 stimulus checks or higher. So the fact that we have $600 stimulus checks and $300 unemployment benefits, which has been negotiated by Democrats and Republicans, the fact that this could have been a stopgap bill, this still can be a stopgap bill. The president has changed his positions quite dramatically, quite dramatically. And again, 10 days ago, the US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin proposed a bill that included zero unemployment benefits and $600 stimulus checks. Now this bill is better than what Mnuchin proposed, but all of a sudden, President Trump, essentially, if he doesn't sign, then what US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin said, which is that the checks can go out next week, that won't happen. So it is quite fascinating that the president would change his position so dramatically, even though there were reports last week that when the president wanted larger checks, he was told that the Republicans wouldn't support it. I don't see Republicans supporting $2,000 stimulus checks. The president can want what he wants. He can want the $2,000 stimulus checks, but the Republican Senate will not let $2,000 stimulus checks go out. It is quite unlikely. So my assumption based on what we are hearing from the president, my assumption is that the president is doing this to this could be a political thing. Guys, honestly, I don't care whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump. I don't care whether you're pro-Biden or anti-Biden. I just don't care. But I'm telling you that from a political standpoint, this makes the president look good to individuals who are unable to see the inconsistencies. There's a massive amount of inconsistency in what President Trump has said in the past, and this is just another example, unfortunately, of the inconsistency. So keep in mind that President Trump basically had, the Senate Republicans negotiated this deal with the Democrats, and the president is now backing out of a deal that was cut by Senate Republicans, his own party, and a deal that involved his own U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. So the president is backing out of this, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what the president's intentions are, but I can tell you that Senate Republicans will not support $2,000 stimulus checks. That's number one. Number two, all of the little provisions that the president said should not be there Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't be there. But is that enough to scuttle the whole bill? Is that enough to scuttle the whole bill? You can decide. Pick your poison, because I think that a lot of us, in the climate that we live in, we tend to have made up our minds already. And the whole thing that President Trump is saying. I'm quoting the president. He said, "I'm asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple." He's asking Congress to come back and amend the package, and these guys just want to go home. The congressmen, the congresswomen, and the senators just want to go home for Christmas. So what the president is doing is essentially laying down the gauntlet. And I do believe that one of them, either the president or Congress, is going to blink. Somebody has to blink here. Who do you think is going to blink? I'm not going to make a prediction. I have made predictions before on my channel. I actually have a sense of what I think is going to happen. But since I'm on YouTube, and since those who are pro-Trump are vehemently pro-Trump, and those who are anti-Trump are vehemently anti-Trump, guys, for me, this is politics and this is games. Okay, I do believe someone's going to blink. And if you've been watching my channel closely, and if you've been watching the past positions of the Democrats, the Republicans, and President Trump, you can guess who's going to be the most likely to blink. But I can tell you that this video from President Trump is largely symbolic. It's largely symbolic. I believe that it is causing a lot of unnecessary last minute tension. Yes, there are going to be things wrong in a bill. Do you think we will have a perfect bill? No. Perfect is the enemy of the good. There is no such thing as perfection. There is only progress. This bill was an indication of progress. There is no such thing as perfection. For the 1% of you who are going to freak out and say, yeah, $2,000. Guys, these are political games being played right now. And by releasing this 4-minute video, President Trump has essentially gone against Congress, has gone against the House, has gone against the Senate, and has essentially gone against his own position from 10 days ago. This is too much inconsistency. This is too much drama. It's not healthy. It's not good for the country. You know what? Honestly, if the House and the Senate say, all right, tomorrow let's do $2,000, I'd be happy about it. I'm happy if you get $2,000 stimulus checks. I'm okay with that. The problem is, let's be realistic. Senate Republicans are not going to approve a bill with $2,000. And either President Trump, doesn't recognize that, or he recognizes that but is playing games here. I don't know. Pick your poison. So, unfortunately, we have a situation here where the president has told Congress to amend the COVID package to send out stimulus checks of $2,000 per person, and he calls it a disgrace. Now, here's something interesting. The government is funded until the 28th of December. What is that? In a few days now, 6 days to go. And so there is no risk of a government shutdown. So all this stuff will get sorted out in the next 5 to 6 days. But Steve Mnuchin cannot send out checks next week unless Trump signs. So I actually think that this is unnecessary tension, unnecessary drama. I know that the internet is freaking out, saying that President Trump will not sign the bill. But I think what is more likely, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I think what is more likely is that there is some small adjustment made to appease what President Trump said. President Trump gets to look good because he pointed out these inefficiencies. Guess what? Are you surprised there are inefficiencies? You shouldn't be, because there are always inefficiencies in Congress. Do you want a perfect bill? I don't know. Go live in La La Land if you want a perfect bill. There is no such thing as a perfect bill. But what President Trump is doing again is extremely dramatic, is inconsistent with his past positions. And again, if President Trump is able to get Senate Republicans to back $2,000 stimulus checks, I think that would be a miracle. Should it happen? Sure, why not? I mean, I'm in favor of help for those who need it the most, but the reality is Senate Republicans will not support $2,000 stimulus checks. It's not going to happen. So this is a symbolic exercise for the president. Is the president likely to hold up the entire stimulus package until the next administration? Nothing surprises me anymore. Is the president likely to get some changes in this package, and then he signs it grudgingly, even though it does not have $2,000 stimulus checks? I would say the answer to that question is yes. Judging by all the, the bouncing, judging by all the changes in the positions that have happened in the past. So let's take a look at what the president actually said, everybody, and then we can actually take a look at that. We can actually take a look at that segment together. Okay, let's take a look at what the president said, and then I'll be chiming in. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now, everybody, and we'll watch the president's comments together.
Throughout the summer, Democrats cruelly blocked COVID relief legislation in an effort to advance their extreme left-wing agenda and influence the election. Then, a few months ago, Congress started negotiations on a new package to get urgently needed help to the American people. It's taken forever. However, the bill they are now planning to send back to my desk is much different than anticipated. It really is a disgrace. For example, among the more than 5,000 pages in this bill, which nobody in Congress has read because of its length and complexity, it's called the COVID relief bill.
So I'm going to stop right there. First of all, this bill was negotiated with two top Democrats, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. And this bill was also involved in the negotiations of this bill were the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and the U.S. Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who's a representative of the president, chimed in. That is how they passed this whole bill. So when President Trump says no one has read it, he's right, because no one, all of them haven't read it. But this was negotiated by the representatives of both parties. There is no such thing as perfect, guys. Listen, there are people out there hungry, on the verge of homelessness. There are people out there who need help. What are you going to do? Give people weeks to read this 5,593 page bill? Guys, perfect is the enemy of the good. Now, for those of you who want a perfect bill where every line item is reviewed, then I have a suggestion. Go back in time, find a time machine, go back in time, create this bill a month ago, give our congressmen, congresswomen, senators a month to read the bill. If you can do that, we have a solution. Now, for the ones that live in reality and that are not able to do that, we have this bill. Now, we are on the verge of a government shutdown. We're about to go into Christmas. So they just wanted to sign the bill, and a majority of them did sign the bill. So for President Trump to say, hey, they didn't read it, the more accurate statement would be this was crafted under the blessings of the administration with the lead negotiators who drafted the bill. So what President Trump is saying is not the full picture, unfortunately. Again, for the 1% of you who are going to freak out and think I'm anti-Trump, no. Hey, listen, if President Trump, listen, I want to be clear. I want to be clear for the 1% who are freaking out right now. If President Trump is able to get $2,000 stimulus checks instead of $600 stimulus checks, I am going to do this. Well done, President Trump. But guess what? I don't think that's going to happen because the Senate Republicans do not want $2,000 stimulus checks. If you guys want me to repeat that 3 or 4 times, I'll say it. We live in reality. If you want to live in La La Land, then that's your choice. But we live in reality. At the Ignition Time community, we live in reality. So I'm just being honest with everybody here. Okay, so let's get back here and let's continue.
For assistance to Cambodia, $134 million to Burma, $1.3 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian military.
All of these things are part of the omnibus spending package. They are not part of the stimulus plan. So yes, these are probably pet projects or things that were thrown in by others who were drafting this bill, but this has nothing to do with the actual stimulus. President Trump is combining the issues of the stimulus with the omnibus spending package, but this was a bill that did indeed combine the two. So, guys, if you go to a restaurant and you order one thing and then you order another thing and then you don't like this thing, Are you going to return the whole? Are you going to just say, I'm going to reject the whole meal when you have hungry people at the table? Yes. So, and by the way, I want to be clear. I do not believe Senate Republicans will buckle and say, all right, let's do $2,000 stimulus checks. If they do, it would be a miracle. Do I want that to happen? Sure. But again, I'm giving you reality here. I'm not going to let you live in your own fairy tale. This is not a hype video about President Trump is not signing the bill. This is a video designed to educate you about the political games that are going on, about the fact that nobody gives you the full picture, which is what I'm trying to do.
which will go out and buy almost exclusively Russian military equipment. $25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan. $505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. $40 million for the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., which is not even open for business. $1 billion for the Smithsonian, and an additional $154 million for the National Gallery of Art. Likewise, these
I think President Trump forgot to mention that there's $1.4 billion for his pet project, the border wall, and the president forgot to mention that the deductions for restaurants, for 100% meal deductions for restaurants for 2021 and 2022, there are also $110 billion in deductions for specific industries, for specific entertainment industries, and other companies. So there's that as well. There are a lot of aspects to this that are not perfect. That is true. There are a lot of aspects that are not perfect. But do you scuttle the whole thing? Do you scuttle the whole thing to hurt those who are waiting? Are $2,000 stimulus checks going to happen? Not with the Republican Senate. I don't think so. Surely the president should know that. Surely.
facilities are essentially not open. $7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico, a provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal hatcheries, $3 million in poultry production technology, $2 million to research the impact of down trees, $566 million for construction projects at the FBI. The bill also allows stimulus checks for the family members of illegal aliens, allowing them to get up to.
Okay, so now this is an interesting thing. President Trump says that this allows stimulus checks for the families of illegal aliens. Now, this is a political hot button. This is a political hot button. Most people don't want stimulus checks to I'm quoting the president's words, families of illegal aliens. But what this bill does include is if you're a US citizen and you're married to someone who's a non-citizen. Now, I'm personally not exactly clear if that person can be illegal. So I don't know. But what the bill says is if you're a citizen and you're married to a non-citizen, whether that person can be an illegal alien or not, I'm not entirely sure. But if you're a citizen married to someone who's a non-citizen, then you're eligible for the stimulus checks, and you are not eligible with the CARES Act. But the way the president says it is, illegal aliens get stimulus checks. So you can start to see that what the president is doing is presenting a version of the truth, which is designed to get, if you believe the president, then obviously you're going to say, that's it, the president is standing up for me. But you are going to see a significant amount of pushback to this by Democrats and Republicans. For those of you who believe that the president is championing your cause, mark my words, if the $2,000 stimulus checks do happen, I will go like that and I will applaud. In fact, if that happens, I, on behalf of the community, will go. Again, I want to be as clear as I can. If the president can actually get $2,000 stimulus checks, but we live in reality on the Ignition Time channel. The reality is Congress, the Democrats might want it, but I don't think the Republicans are going to support it. So before you freak out thinking that the president is not going to sign this bill, remember remember that this is not going to go through the Senate, and also remember that that at some point, I believe that if certain things are amended, and it looks like some things will have to be amended, the president is likely to sign. I would be shocked if the president does not sign this and this goes to the next administration, because it's already too late for many of us, and it's time that people get help. Is it enough to hold up the whole thing after the Republicans and the Democrats have come to an agreement? After the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, the representative of the president, the lead negotiator of the president in all the stimulus negotiations, played a role in these discussions, only to just blow up the whole thing at the last minute? It doesn't make sense. It's it's a political move, and it is stressful, and it is harmful to those who need help. Okay? If the president did not have an intention of signing a bill that included $600 stimulus checks, why did he not talk to the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell? Because if he would have, then they wouldn't have gone through the trouble of passing everything. I do not see. I want to be as clear as I can. I do not see the House and the Senate voting on an amended version of the bill before Christmas. Therefore, the president, in this game of chess, has now positioned himself in a situation where it's all or none, and I don't think that was necessary. I don't think the president. Look, there was an opportunity to voice your frustration with the bill and just sign it so that help goes out. But the president has essentially laid down the gauntlet. And I do have a prediction. I do have a prediction of what I think is likely to happen. And I might just tell you what my prediction is in the comment section below. But I think that this situation will sort itself out in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay, guys, don't panic. Don't panic. Stay calm, take a deep breath. Here, let me go. Just stay calm, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. We're in the middle of a circus. This is like a childish game, like this. So this is the effect of point. This is a childish game. Relax, relax, relax. Take a deep breath. We will get through this, everybody. So let's go back to what the president is saying. Very dramatic stuff.
$1,800 each. This is far more than the Americans are given. Despite all of this wasteful spending and much more, the $900 billion package provides hardworking taxpayers with only $600 each in relief payments. And not enough money is given to small businesses, and in particular restaurants, whose owners have suffered so grievously. They were only given a deduction for others to use in business their restaurant for 2 years. This 2-year period must be withdrawn, which will allow the owners to obtain financing and get their restaurants back in condition. Congress can terminate it at a much later date, but 2 years is not acceptable. It's not enough. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and special interests, while sending the bare minimum to the American people who need it. It wasn't their fault. It was China's fault, not their fault. I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package, and maybe that administration will be me, and we will get it done. Thank you very much.
So here is the outcome, everybody. Now here, okay. One of two things is going to happen. One of three things is going to happen now. One, President Trump simply doesn't sign it, and we have no stimulus. Two, the House and the Senate amend the bill to include $2,000 stimulus checks, and this goes to the president, and he signs it. And those other funky provisions, I don't think President Trump is going to freak out about those. But the $2,000 stimulus checks are the big one that the president is championing. If that does happen, then President Trump would essentially have done something that was quite remarkable. Number three, the House and the Senate find a way to get this to become a law without the president's signature. I am not a constitutional law expert. I am not a constitutional law expert. I will have to see if that is even possible, and I will have to examine whether that can be done with a majority in the House and the Senate. I'm telling you right now, I'm not entirely sure whether that's possible. That's something I'm going to have to look into. But guess what? The president has sort of laid down the gauntlet. In my opinion, this is not likely to happen because of the concerns of the Republican senators. But the president doing this is very curious. It's stressful. It's quite remarkable that the president would essentially blow up a package that he played a role in creating through his lead negotiator, through his own Senate majority leader, and through his own House minority leader. I'm pretty sure that right now Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is scratching his head, and I'm pretty sure House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is screaming into a pillow right now. And there are going to be some frantic discussions and frantic negotiations, potentially a walk back from somebody in the next 24 to 48 hours. I am hopeful that there is relief for the American people. I'm sure that all sides want what's best, but this is unnecessary stress. Hang in there, hang in there. I'm pretty sure we'll get this sorted out, guys. That's where we are, everybody. Hang in there. I am confident that this will get sorted out. This is just unnecessary drama in a rather bizarre and a stressful year, and this whole thing could have been avoided. Whole thing could have been avoided if all the president did was object to it, voice his concern, but sign it because people need help. But no, the president decided to essentially blindside the Senate Majority Leader, the House Minority Leader, and blindside all of those who are waiting for the stimulus. Don't lose hope. If this happens and when this happens, remember you heard it here first. Don't lose hope. I would not be surprised if there is a shift in positions from someone. It's up to you to interpret who that someone is. Don't lose hope if there is a shift in the positions, because this is politics. Politics. President Trump is an unconventional politician, so don't lose hope. Let's wait and see what happens, everybody. And I believe I believe that Congress can override the president. And by the way, listen, remember I mentioned three scenarios. One, President Trump doesn't sign, no stimulus. I don't think that's going to happen. We need stimulus. Number two, there is a $2,000 stimulus check. Guess what? We don't live in La La Land, so it's not going to happen. Therefore, it becomes a political way to rally people who are like, President Trump stood up for me. Yeah, President Trump stood up for me. So that's number two. And number three, Congress finds a way to override the president. If Congress can find a way to override the president, and I don't think that Congress would have anticipated that President Trump would do this, but guess what? It's hard to anticipate what the president will do. The president is an unconventional politician. The president is actually not a politician. But if Congress can override the president, they'll simply override him, because I do not see the House and the Senate coming back and debating and creating a new law. They'll simply find a way to override him. If that constitutional provision exists, they'll go home for Christmas. This will end up being nothing more than last minute hassles leading up to the provision of the bill. If the constitutional framework exists, I am not an expert in constitutional law. I am a citizen journalist trying to present you with the big picture. For the 1% of you who freak out and think I'm anti-Trump, guess what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm here to help you make sense of this craziness, this madness. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. And if you think we have to take sides in this situation, you're missing the point. And hopefully, you'll try and understand that this is about helping those who need it the most. This isn't about one person. This is about our fellow Americans. This is about the country. This is not about President Trump. If President Trump can get the $2,000 stimulus checks, it would be a miracle. But miracles happen in fairy tales. So that's it, everybody. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that you are greatly, greatly appreciated. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. So please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. You'll get instant alerts from our channel as soon as you click subscribe and enable notifications. Now, if you want to get added to our SMS alerts list, we'll send you important breaking news pertaining to the country, pertaining to the economy, and pertaining to your money. I'm gradually going to now start talking more and more about investing. I'm going to talk more and more about saving money. I'm going to essentially tell you how I managed to live the American dream, because I want you to live the American dream. If you want to get on our list, get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. You'll then get added to SMS alerts list. Now, keep in mind, you can opt out of the SMS alerts at any point in time that you want. So, we'd welcome you to join our mailing list. You can also, if you want, get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts and get added to our email list. And you can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any point in time that you want. Keep in mind, the Ignition Time channel is, as you know, about the country. It's about the economy, and it's about your money. So please subscribe and become a member of our community. I want you to know that even though we do cover politics on our channel, because at the end of the day, politics does impact the way our country works. For me, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American first. Matters that affect the country then tend to affect the economy. They tend to affect interest rates, they tend to affect inflation, and all other matters that ultimately dictate where your money goes. In other words, how much money you make, how you invest your money. And our goal is to teach you good, healthy habits for the long term. This is a channel where I don't cover shortcuts. I don't talk about, that stock that's $10 today that could become $30 a year from now. You're not going to get that on this channel. You're going to get a slow and steady approach towards building long-term wealth that lasts for generations, which is what I've been able to do. So I welcome you to our journey, and hopefully you can become a part of our community. Now, speaking of community, keep in mind that YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. It happens with technology. So all I ask that you do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. Simply bookmark our channel, and then you'll be able to visit the home page of our channel. And then at any point in time, you'll be able to check out our videos. You're not dependent on notifications. Speaking of notifications, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Follow us on Instagram, and then you'll get exclusive news and content from us on Instagram. I also recommend that you follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Follow us on Twitter. Now, you can actually click the bottom right side corner of your screen and actually click and subscribe with click that button on the bottom right hand corner of the video that you're looking at right now, and simply click that button and you'll become a subscriber. So please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. I would really, really appreciate that. Please click like. That does help out the YouTube algorithm. The one thing I'm personally very proud of is our fabulous, fabulous, fabulous community. I appreciate you all. Our community is intelligent, it's respectful, it's bipartisan. You'll probably make some new friends in our community. So go ahead and comment below. I think you'll get a lot out of it. And finally, please share this video with at least 2 friends or family members. In fact, just 2 friends or family members. You sharing this video with just 2 people will mean a lot to me personally. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. One last time, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.